Welcome to this session of the National Safe Tractor and Machinery Operation Program brought to you by the Keokuk County Cooperative Extension. Today we're going to discuss agricultural pesticides. The Hazardous Occupations Order in Agriculture states that youth workers under the age of 16 are prohibited from handling or applying agricultural chemicals classified as Category 1 or Category 2. This includes cleaning and decontaminating equipment, disposal or return of the empty containers. These are the labels that you will see on these types of chemicals. Category 1 is the most hazardous. They will say poison, they will say danger, and they will have the skull and crossbones on them. These are usually have a very restricted use. Category 2 chemicals will usually say warning or possibly caution. And again, these are chemicals that youth cannot handle. So the way we get exposed to chemicals, we get exposed through ingestion, they get in your mouth, if you swallow them, absorption through your skin or through your eyes, and you can breathe them in. When inhalation is actually the fastest route of poisoning, the poison will get into your bloodstream directly from your lungs. The symptoms of chemical exposure, pesticide exposure, can be headache, nausea, stomach cramps, diarrhea, chills, fever, or fainting. It's often mistaken for the flu. It actually can be called the summer flu. So you want to minimize exposure. Now, any youth under the age of 16 cannot handle these chemicals to begin with. However, it's important to know good handling practices and good PPE. So you want to make sure you have chemical resistant clothing and a face shield. You wear goggles and respirators. Also, make sure that your hands get washed very frequently, that your clothes go right into the wash and they don't lay around to continue to expose. Make sure you always read the container. The label should tell you what PPE is appropriate for each chemical. So pesticides are something that you're going to see very common on farms. They are used to control all sorts of pests from weeds, insects, rodents. Other chemicals you will see on a farm include fuels, solvents, fertilizers, cleansers and sanitizers, battery acid, antifreeze, and lubricants for equipment. Proper PPE should always be worn to prevent exposure to these chemicals. Again, you can ingest them even by accident if they just splash on you. You can inhale them if you're not wearing a respirator. And then again, they can absorb through your skin or through your eye. So let's talk about one of the most serious hazards involving chemicals on a farm, anhydrous ammonia. Now this is a powerful source of nitrogen. It contains 82% nitrogen, and it's used as a fertilizer. This is what makes the plants green and healthy. It improves the growth. Anhydrous ammonia is a liquid when it's stored under pressure. When it's released into the air, it will become a gas and is injected into the soil. Now, one of the big properties of this is that it has a very high attraction to water, so it really quickly attaches to the moist soil to become more available to the plant through the root system. However, this also means that it's very attractive to the moisture in your and on your skin. So it can get into your eyes, your nose, your mouth. If you're sweaty and you wipe yourself and you have it on your hands, it's very caustic. It can cause a lot of permanent damage to your lungs and your eyes. So here is a diagram of what an anhydrous ammonia setup would look like. You would have a high strength steel tank because the chemical is highly corrosive. So you need to make sure that it is always stored in the appropriate containers. They should also be light colored to reflect the heat from the sun. All tanks should be plainly labeled on all surfaces with 3 to 4 inch lettering, and on the back it should have an SMV. %80 of anhydrous ammonia injuries and fatalities are the result of lack in training. So even though youth under the age of 16 are not allowed to handle this chemical, you should know all the proper procedures and know what the required PPE is. So you should be wearing splash-proof goggles, rubber gloves, heavy-duty long-sleeve shirts and pants. Every vehicle that transports this chemical is required to carry at least 5 gallons of clean, fresh water. It is also recommended that each person that is involved in the application of this chemical carry a squirt bottle or a squeeze bottle full of water. In case of accidental exposure, you should immediately start flushing out that area and remove your clothes because it can become frozen to the skin. So this is not a chemical to take very lightly. It has a lot of controls. It has a big procedure to use it, and it has a very complex application versus just applying dry fertilizer.